Arsenal, we will go to a third game that we're going to cover of the marquee games. This is West Ham versus Manchester United, a game originally scheduled for 12:30. It's the BT game, but moved because of the King's coronation to Sunday at 7 o'clock. Some people might be wondering that weird kickoff time. But we'll take a look at the betting that we have on Matchbook.com. West Ham, who are going to be in Europa Conference League action on Thursday, are 3.4 here. Manchester United 2.14. The draw is available at 3.9. You can back both teams to score yes. They're heavily favoured in this market at 1.6, and these are early prices, so that will come in a little bit. The Asian handicap line sees West Ham get a quarter of a goal head start, and the total in this game is currently set at 2.5, and that's shaded a bit towards the over. So, look, Mark, we'll go back to you on this one. West Ham, Manchester United. I touched on the Europa Conference League. It's a massive opportunity for West Ham being in the semi-final of a European competition. How do you bring that into your betting here when you're looking at this game, which is only 4 days out from that game?
I don't consider it. I think that's probably more of a scenario to consider next weekend when West Ham are playing away at Brentford in between the two legs. I think they'll be fully focused on the job at hand, which is Premier League safety. Finding West Ham hard to get a finger on at the minute because since that impressive win at Bournemouth, they played well in a home defeat to Liverpool. Then they go down 4-3 at Palace in what was a brilliant game for the neutral, but it could have been much, much uglier for West Ham, who only really threatened from set pieces and were largely battered in that match. And then things start to look really, really worrying when you go to Man City and have to send Rice, Aguerd and Souček home early because of illness. You have to change your shape, change your tactical approach late on. But I thought they competed really well for the most part of that game too. And then you lose Soufal to injury as well in the second half. So, we don't know the status of these guys right now, but coming into the weekend, you could easily be missing, basically the spine of your team in this match, which would be a really critical blow. We need results really, because this is United this weekend, Brentford away. You mentioned those Europa Conference ties as well, and they finished with Leeds and Leicester, both under new management. Both will expect to be better versions of the side we currently know. So it's not going to be easy for West Ham, who, if you look at their recent form, it's just so erratic. I'll just read you their results since the start of 2023. Draw, loss, win. Draw, lost. Win, loss, draw. Win, loss, win. Draw, win, loss, lost. So they've won back-to-back games once all season, and their longest unbeaten run is 3 games. 51% of their overall points have been earned at home to teams in 10th and below, and they're winless, having lost 7 of 10 matches against the top 6. So, originally I wanted them to be quite competitive in this match, but I think it's very team news dependent. I think United are there to be got at without Varane and Martinez. I know Lindelof's been playing quite well in their place, but United have failed to win 9 of 16 away. They've only won twice by 2 goals or more on their travels, which shows they don't tend to dominate when playing away. But United's record against the lesser lights is really impressive. They've won 11, drawn twice, and lost 0 games against the bottom 8. They've kept 11 clean sheets in that sample, and won all 6 away trips to the bottom 8 as well. So that's really, really impressive. And I just think team news wise, I'm quite happy to leave this alone, see how West Ham shake up before the kickoff, because go back to 2 of their recent performances at the London Stadium. They've given Arsenal and Liverpool some really tough goings over, so there's no reason why they can't give United a similar workout if they're at close to full strength. But with those key players missing, it could be very different. But so for this selection, I've actually sort of ignored the 1x2 and the handicaps. I've gone to go with under 3 goals at 1.84. Only loses if there's 4 goals or more in this game. 13 of West Ham's 17 at home have featured fewer than 4. Only 4 of United's 17 since the World Cup have featured 4 or more. 6 of the last 7 have gone under 2.5. BTS No has actually banked in 9 of the last 10. And if you look at United's trips to the bottom half, 8 of 9 went under 2.5. None of those 9 games featured 4 goals or more either. So, I wonder whether this might be quite a close competitive contest, but I think it's all down to who's available for West Ham as well.
Okay, yeah, maybe keep an eye on team news closest to kickoff. Miguel, you're a little bit more confident on the 1x2, and you've gone for Manchester United. I guess you're just looking at the pound for pound, and you'd also possibly be looking at some of that team news that Mark alluded to, because I can't remember last time Declan Rice missed a game for West Ham.
Yeah, well, and also I think if we're going on the general evidence of the season, which now to be fair, it's been an erratic season for West Ham, but still in a game like this, how Moyes is going to set up. And that United had been for a lot of the season with some performances that were more like the Villa game, I would have gone quite low scoring and probably maybe a narrow Manchester United win. But just given I've been to a few United games lately, that they're not quite crawling towards the end of the season anymore, given their fixture list has eased a bit. And that West Ham, given their issues, given they've been so back and forth. I actually think this has the potential for a few more goals at least. I do think, given the pressures on West Ham, United will win. United seem to have ground out a bit of a knack of it. They should have beaten Spurs, but that's where there are a few alarm bells in terms of the defence, given they conceded those 2 so easy. And it wasn't just that they conceded 2, actually. It was more so the amount of chances Spurs created against them in a game that should have been won. I think Lindelof has actually been better without Maguire beside him, but it's still not their first choice centre-half pairing. And I'm going to go, my thinking is almost United to score, but also concede. So I'm going to go United win, but over 1.5.
Okay, yeah, it's currently available at 2.4 if you wanted a boost on the 1x2 markets. As a podcast selection, we're going to sit out this one given the uncertainty of that team news in West Ham, but do keep an eye close to kickoff and maybe go with one of the guys' selections. And both of those selections will be available on insights.matchbook.com from Thursday afternoon if you do want to check that out or need a little reminder of what the guys have put up.